Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Pregnant woman among two killed in Portland. A pregnant woman was among two persons fatally shot in Portland. She has been identified as 28-year-old Shade Pink of Campbell Avenue in Port Antonio. The other deceased is 23-year-old Keno James of Johnstown Road, also in Port Antonio. The police indicate that a preliminary investigation is suggesting that the pregnant woman was the target of the attack. It is being theorized that the attack stemmed from a love triangle gone bad. The Port Antonio police report that about 11 o'clock on Tuesday night, Pink and James were among persons playing a game of domino at Alfred Lane in Portland when a grey Toyota Fielder motor car drove up and a gunman exited the rear of the vehicle, who opened fire. At the end of the shooting, Pink, who was in an advanced stage of pregnancy, and James were found suffering from gunshot wounds. They were taken to Port Antonio Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. Police inspector dies while on vacation in U.S. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is now in mourning, following the death of one of its inspectors on Wednesday. Reporters understand that Inspector Franklin Hunter passed away whilst on vacation in the United States. Hunter was assigned to the Mount Salem Police Station and Zone 3 in St. James. The circumstances surrounding his death was not made public. However, the JCF said it stands together with his family and the members of the Mount Salem Police Station and Zone 3. Man fatally shot in Mount Salem, St. James. A man was gunned down along a dirt road in Mount Salem, St. James on Monday. The unidentified man is believed to be in his late 40s. The body is of dark complexion, slim built, about 6 feet 2 inches long, and sports a low-cut hairstyle. The man was dressed in a white merino and black shorts. Residents living on Brook Lane reported that around 5:30 p.m., they heard loud explosions and called the police. On arrival, the police stumbled upon the body of the man lying along the dirt road, which borders O'Connor Lane and Brookwood Lane, with multiple gunshot wounds. He was rushed to the Connor Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Sections of Mount Salem community are under a zone of special operations, as well as a curfew to help quell violence. St. James is one of 3 parishes under a state of public emergency. Garbage collector shot and killed, another injured in Portmore. 2 sanitation workers employed to the National Solid Waste Management Authority were shot about 10:30 a.m. Wednesday while collecting garbage in Portmore, St. Catherine. One of the men, Satis James, has since succumbed to his injuries, while the other has been admitted to hospital in serious condition. It's reported that the men were in the process of collecting household waste in the Portsmouth area when they were attacked by a gunman who opened fire on them. They were rushed to hospital, where James was pronounced dead on arrival. The other worker was admitted. Executive Director of the NSWMA, Otto Garden, has condemned the killing of James. I must say that this incident came as a shock to us because we usually have very good relationships in our communities, Garden said. He said he hopes that this is an isolated incident and not the beginning of a trend. He further stated that every effort will be made to ensure there is no disruption in service as a result of the incident. Fatal crash in Rose Hall, St. James. A man was killed and several others injured in a crash in Rose Hall, St. James. The deceased is yet to be identified. The collision occurred shortly after 2 a.m. in the vicinity of the Half Moon Hotel and Sugar Mill Road. A Toyota Noah minibus, a Toyota Mark X, and a Subaru motor car were involved in the crash. All 3 vehicles were traveling towards Montego Bay. It is reported that the driver of the Toyota Noah lost control of the vehicle and ran off the road. It is reported that the driver of the Subaru swerved to avoid hitting the Toyota Noah, and that's when the vehicle was hit by the Toyota Mark X. A man died on the spot while injured persons were taken to hospital. The deceased was a passenger in the Toyota Noah. No Berylum security threat. George Overton, head of corporate communications for the Cardsman Group, is denying claims that Berylum Courier guards are facing a current security threat that has led to a shortage of cash at automated teller machines in Portmore, St. Catherine. He told reporters that over the past week, many people have complained about not being able to withdraw any cash from ATMs in Portmore. According to Overton, the shortage of cash occurred during a higher demand from the public. We are servicing as per usual. What we do know is that some machines have a higher demand for cash than normal, and we're taking steps to rectify those machines that may have run out. Sometimes, especially when you have events, the demand for cash is greater in Portmore. There is no threat or any withdrawal, Overton assured. In recent months, Burnham carriers have come under attack from heavily armed gunmen who had robbed them of millions of dollars on numerous occasions. At least one guard was killed in one of the incidents. In February, one guard was shot dead and two others injured by gunmen when they went to deliver cash at J.N. Bank Portmore Pines Plaza in St. Catherine. The armed robbers got away with at least $10 million in that incident. There was another similar attack on Burnham team in March in which 3 guards were shot and injured. High-power weapons were fired at the guards about as they serviced at Scotia ATM in Portmore. Those gunmen escaped with roughly $23 million. In April, a team was replenishing cash at an ATM in Albion St. Thomas when they were attacked by gunmen with high-powered weapons, forcing the guards to return fire while they ran to take cover. In that incident, the gunmen did not escape with any cash. Teachers demotivated by poor treatment from government, says JTA. President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, Lasandra Harrison, has accused the government of failing to respond to major issues affecting the nation's educators. Among the grievances, she said, are discrepancies and abnormalities following the recent compensation review, with hundreds of teachers reportedly experiencing issues with salaries paid out to them. Harrison said despite concerns being raised and requests for recalculation and a technical committee to deal with the issues, our public calls have fallen on deaf ears. She is calling on the government to immediately respond to the request for a meeting to address the issues. What scant regard for the nation's teachers, all the JTA has been asking is for the government to facilitate a meeting with the abnormalities that have arisen from the implementation of the restructuring exercise. We are not asking for additional. All we are asking is that what we have agreed to give to the teachers of this nation, that they actually receive what you have promised them, Harrison said. She argued that this scant regard from government could impact the quality of education services provided by teachers. Do we want demotivated individuals going into each classroom every day before your children? The teachers of the nation are deserving of better treatment and deserving of the professional courtesy as any other grouping. We should not be begging the government to respond to us, Harrison said. She added, Jamaicans need to decide what quality education system it wants for its children. You cannot continue to have demotivated, despondent, demoralized educators going to school. What will happen to us as a nation? Transport Group welcomes appointment of Valls as new portfolio minister. At least one transportation group has welcomed the new changes announced by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, which sees the transport portfolio of the Ministry of Transport and Mining being incorporated into the Ministry of Science, Energy and Telecommunications. President of the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services TODS, Hector Newman, conceded in a video released that while TODS was hoping to have Floyd Green, who has been reinstated to Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining Ministry as Portfolio Minister, Darrell Valls is welcome. Prime Minister, you did what you had to do. I was looking for Floyd Green in the Ministry of Transport, but you gave me Darrell Valls as Minister. I spoke to him a couple of times in the past few weeks, stated Newman. Darrell Valls has the energy and the strength to move, and I want to welcome Darrell to the noble sector that is suffering in the palmers of hell. And I have spoken to you about it, Darrell Valls, so it is not something new, added Newman. The transport group boss said he is concerned that the transport sector will not be treated separately. However, he said Valls will have to hit the road running as there are several issues to be addressed. While I have some challenges with you having so many ministries, the public transport sector is willing to work with you, said Newman, who then listed the task at hand. The first order of business is fare increase. The second order is the furniture on our thoroughfares, bus stops, taxi stand, and the most important one is our relationship between the transport sector and the security forces. We have to address that forthwith, stated Newman. Meanwhile, Newman thanked Shaw, who took the transport and mining portfolio in January of 2022, for his service. Thank you, Audley. Thank you very much. Well done. You could not have done better. You have tried and made some market, I must commend you for 15 months on the job, and you have responded to every assignment of thought, Newman stated. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification